Not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Bad.
Made it all the way to the streaming era.
Time, yeah. Pretty good. From antennas to streaming.
Yep.
That's right.
Pretty good. I like it. Time for now for the Ravens at the Bills. I mean, game time temperature in Buffalo is going to be extremely cold.
Cold.
Oh, yeah.
Super cold. Wind's going to whip off the lake. You know, we're talking about wind chills -0. And, you know, the thing is, Josh Allen, nothing ever affects him.
He can throw in that.
Right?
That's why you have a quarterback like that.
Yeah, nothing ever affects Josh Allen.
No, and I want to look really at third down, particularly 6 yards to 9 yards, where the Ravens play a lot of man coverage. So it now comes down to scheme. I mean, you just can't count on Josh Allen running around. You have to scheme up some plays. And they did a really good job of that against the Broncos on this 3rd and 6 play from last week.
This was 3rd and 6. You see Josh Allen in the gun. Ty Johnson would shift to a wide offset alignment to the field. With the 3 wide receivers in a tight bunch look, it was now 4 strong. 4 receivers aligned to one side of the formation. The Broncos would play cover 1. You see the post safety in the deep middle. Linebacker Cody Barton would be matched on Johnson. The 3 corners were man-to-man on the 3 wide receivers. Riley Moss had Mac Hollins on the outside, with Patrick Surtain on Curtis Samuel, the inside receiver in the bunch. But with that bunch look, there was a wrinkle. The Broncos would match releases, not lock on the pre-snap alignment. Hollins from the outside would motion into the formation. You see the coverage adjustment. Surtain would now match Hollins. Here's the beauty of the play concept. Hollins would go in return motion. He would release outside of Khalil Shakir, again becoming number 1 in the 3-receiver bunch. Let's map out the Bills' 4-strong route concept. Hollins would release vertically, running his dig route. Johnson would run the rail route, with Samuel and Shakir running leveled crossers. Here's how it played out. Surtain stayed too long with Hollins' return motion. Samuel was now back to being the inside receiver in the bunch, Surtain's coverage responsibility. Samuel would be wide open on the intermediate crosser with run-after-catch room. It was beautiful design with formation, motion, and route concept to break down the Broncos' man coverage scheme.
Darius, I gave you the weather report. That means this is a double chin strap football game.
Oh, you better believe it.
Double chin strap.
Yeah, so double shoulder pads, too, when you're playing a guy like Derrick Henry in the backfield, Patrick Ricard, and those big boys, and then Lamar Jackson's speed. It almost makes this offense unfair to stop, especially when you get to the run game. Let's get to the tape and see how 8 and 22 impact that defensive side of the ball. This is when they faced the Texans a few weeks ago. You got 22 personnel, so 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, 3 guys back there with Lamar Jackson. And he's going to fake the handoff right up the middle and pull this and have 2 lead blockers out to his right, and then basically jog up to about 22 miles an hour into the end zone. But as a defender, your eyes, your discipline, your assignment, you talk about explosive plays, the first thing you usually think about is in the passing game. This team leads the league in 10-plus yards running. So many explosive plays in the air and on the ground. That right there is what Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP. Now you have Lamar Jackson split out a wide receiver. You have Derrick Henry in the backfield as this wildcat quarterback. And now Lamar Jackson is the eye candy, probably the best eye candy in the league. And just watch how he impacts these 3 underneath defenders for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card round. So they're going with 8. Their eyes are on 8. And now you have 22 right up the middle. And now he's going to do his thing, reading the blocks. Vision, great vision. We saw it with Saquon earlier. Derrick Henry also has great vision, great speed, and then he finishes blocks. That never feels good. That definitely doesn't feel good when you're freezing your butt off. And now, read option once again. This time Lamar, he's gonna hand it off to Derrick Henry, but by him pulling this ball out of the gut and faking it out. Okay, who has the ball right now? You don't know as a defender, but we're gonna lean on the side of 8. Now you take 3 defenders once again, and then you have Derrick Henry right up the middle. He has has the size, he has the speed, and that home run hitting ability to where he can take this all the way to the paint from any point on the football field. That is a tough combination.
Those were good plays.
How many times you heard Chuck Pagano say, alignment and assignment football, Darius Butler?
Alignment, assignment.
That's what you got to have in this football game when you're facing Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in that running game. And NFL football in the playoffs, Greg, is about matchups.
Yes.
So in this game, what do you think about Lamar Jackson as a thrower in this particular game?
He's great, but you know, the weather. Weather's always a factor as well. So I think, especially with Zay Flowers being out or potentially being out, it's a tight end game. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Watch those guys.
And what do the Buffalo Bills do defensively that may pose problems for Lamar Jackson?
I think it's tough. They're a heavy zone team, a lot of too high. And the best quarterback in the NFL this year versus zone coverage
Why is that?
Was Lamar Jackson.
Why is that, Greg?
He's become a much better window thrower, and he has a lot of time to throw. That's an overlooked thing. He has more than 3 seconds on average in the pocket to throw the ball. So he sits back there, and he sees his receivers uncover.
Yeah, plus you don't want to play man-to-man. You don't want guys turning their back to Lamar Jackson because he is gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Los Angeles Rams against the Philadelphia Eagles. And we got to start with you, Greg Cosell. The Eagles are playing factor-back football, and this is a very special factor-back, Saquon Barkley, for a very specific reason. He leads the NFL, check this out, in yards before contact, 1,400 yards, 75% of his total rushing yards this season. So show us what's going on here.
Yeah, and I think we have to go back. These two teams played Week 12. Barkley had 255 yards.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yes. And he started the third quarter, the first play of the third quarter, with a 70-yard touchdown run. And we really have to focus not only on Barkley, but on the offensive line.
Please
Let's
do.
take a look at that play, because that O-line is playing at a really high level.
Let's check it out.
So this is the first play of the third quarter. Okay, Barkley's going to be in the pistol here, and they're in 11 personnel. Now, what the Rams have really evolved into as their base really is big nickel, and that's what you see here with 3 safeties. And what they're going to run is outside zone to the field, and they're going to take their big wide receiver, Johnny Wilson, and he's going to cross the formation in what we call split flow run action. Then you're going to get Becton and Johnson one-on-one to play side. And Mailata on the other side, he's going to have to make a reach block against the two-eye defensive tackle Brown. So those are really important blocks, and we're going to see how they play out because they're critical in why this play works. And you can really see Mailata in particular, the way he's able to reach across Brown. That's a tough block. So now we're going to go back and we're going to look at the middle, Sal, of this offensive line with Juergens and Dickerson. And they're responsible to block Hoyt and Spates here. And they do such a good job. Now, Dickerson's going to combo on Hoyt to start. But the key here is Barkley, because it's outside zone, but what does he see? He sees the 3-technique defensive tackle Turner. He's right there. He can't run there. So he's going to cut back. So that's where that combination block with Dickerson working up and just laying Spates right on the ground, and Barkley goes 70 yards, and he's just been unbelievable. He's run harder, more physically tougher than he's ever run. He gets tough yards, and we know he's explosive.
Yes.
He can take it to the house.
Absolutely.
Greg, Landon Dickerson blew out 2 people.
2 guys, yep.
Yeah, double teams on the defensive tackle, then slides to the second level, grabs the linebacker, and Saquon Barkley is just gone. Jeff Stoutland is not only the offensive line coach, he